come in. I'll start now. So good evening everybody. We are starting a new chapter after a long break of NJH CME. So I'm so glad that all of you are here with me, and I hope we enjoy this study that we are going to do. Yes? So the question I was asked was, this is Rosidea, Plant Kingdom, column 5, or you can call it subclass 5, saying that why are we doing column 5? Because this time our study of the plant kingdom is going to be very detailed. We are going to do much more. The earlier time we have done plant many number of times, twice, but we've done say Rajan's 36 families, that. But this time we are doing it in an organized fashion of each subclass. There are 6, and we are going to do many remedies in each the family and the remedy. So it's going to be a long process. So then somebody asked me, but why didn't we start that same study from subclass 1? Because actually subclass 1 we all Magnonidae, we all know quite well, and we use quite a number of remedies. Many remedies from there, Pulsipara, Staphylococcus, Aconite, so many we use. But in subclass 5, there are so many we don't know at all. And the few that we know, we use just specifically, that we'll see. Like so many remedies like citrus, or in tamarind, soya, copaiva, they're all very useful in practice. And more than anything else, like today's generation is more in subclass 5, but that is masculine. The masculine element is coming up. Till 4 we were still in feminine element and the mother. Now we are coming up masculine and father, and coming up both sexes want equality and so on. More people are now work oriented, more equality demand. The women's lib has come up so strongly. There are more dominant females even in organizations and in professions, and they're asking men and partners to share work at home and family. Earlier it was never that. It was whatever the woman was doing, she had to look after the home. And plus the remedies are very useful in today's times. And more than that, there are so many remedies that even I don't know so many and find them so useful. This, I told you, the few that we know like Zizigium, we just use it just for diabetes or just a mother tincture, Viola odorata. We just use it for small things. So to know the whole remedy and to use it as a big thing, it's really going to be nice. So I thought it was better to start with subclass 5. It has so many remedies. I promise that each one of you will find after every class some old case of yours where you'll find a better fit with this remedy. So subclass 5 is not going to be just these 4 lectures. Nor is finishing in 1 month. We have started with 1 month, so you can see if you like it and then you want to continue or not, because it's not going to anywhere finish. Historically, we've all been going once a month and everybody said it's so convenient to attend. Now why every week? And why, which has something always been free for NJH Life members, now why are you charging? So we all know, right, that the lockdown thereafter, this period has been a very trying period for all of us. For some more, some less. And for me, as some of you are aware, it has been much more personal life-threatening, life-changing events which I have to overcome. We have all overcome to the extent possible. But it has also given us time not being infinite. It's not going to be there forever. We also now realize that anytime we can go. We've seen so many people in COVID just go overnight. Or even now we just hear somebody was there yesterday, not there today. So it's like, yeah. And more than anything, it has Rosidea family as the whole group has more than 100 remedies. Even the Roseas itself, the only one group, has 21 remedies. So that tells you why we have to have weekly lectures, and because we are investing time weekly, as some little monetary compensation. So one minimal charge has been installed. So these are the families. This is the Rosaceae family, where we have so many remedies. What do we know about them? Hardly any. Agrimony, amygdala. We know maybe prunus. So we know such few. Rosa we know. So very few we know. So it's going to be nice and fun. And we are doing this trial basis 1 month. In the sense trial basis means I will continue, but if you all don't like it, then you can drop out or you can continue. So you will say, what if we miss a lecture? Yeah. So we're going to have one replay, but a fixed time. So we can all decide. You can write on the chat box whichever convenient to you. I think Saturdays, Sundays are quite busy for many of us, have something or the other going on, and we started some course or the other, whatever. So I think Friday maybe 9 to 11, but whatever time you say is okay with us. But it has to be some one time when you can tell us, and we will give you a replay, so that if you miss by chance, it's always nice to be live, but if you miss by chance any of them, then you can see it on the replay. And that's also fixed time, so that there's no confusion. So let us begin. Little bit about the kingdoms. We all know, right? We have 3 kingdoms mainly in the homeopathic world. So mineral kingdom is based on structure. It is, people are very organized, very methodical, just like the periodic table. Everything is in its place. There's a valency. There is, and you have to fulfill whatever valency you don't have. That kind of a thing. So we have done mineral kingdom in our NJH CMEs earlier, but today this is just to complete the whole kind of understanding, because there are some of us here who are new to us or new to the whole concept. Then animal kingdom is based, we know, on survival, right? Who is stronger, who is weaker, who is one up, who is down. So all this ego thing comes into play. And the plant kingdom is based on sensitivity, how you react to all the environment, all the things, all the people. So much more about sensitivity. And also it has very lot of hand gestures and all that. Mineral kingdom won't have much hand gestures. So this is about, in brief, about the kingdoms. These are the subclasses, right? So we have, this is a very important chart, because this has allowed us to come to a remedy which we don't know at all, just because we come to the inner age, which is here, the 9 inner ages: womb, infancy, toddler, childhood, school age, adolescence, young adult, late adult, old age. So the 9 here and the 6 groups, which are the subclasses or the columns. So we are going to do the 5th column. So which is I and the other. So let us just look at that a little bit. Short revision of the columns. So subclass 1 is Magnolidae. It is as if you're not, it is you've come here from the outside, the other world, and you've come into this world. But you're still coming in. So you're not here at all yet. So you're so confused, when you go to a new place to stay. Say I stay in Bombay and I'm suddenly transferred, or my husband is transferred to Bangladesh or to Nepal. And it's so new for me. The whole thing is very different. I don't know I belong here or not. I want to go back. So it is still in this like that, still in the other world. It does not belong here. I'm very confused. And it is all open, it has no boundaries of its own. So we say there is no covering, no skin. We all know the remedy in that, very important remedy which we all use every day. is staphysagria. And we always say raw skin, means no skin. It's like a raw wound. So everything is taken in and it hurts a lot. So pulsatilla, aconite, staphysagria, they all belong to the ranunculaceae family, which comes in the adult age, if you want to, adolescent age. See here, ranunculaceae comes in school age, adolescent, two ages which are very, very susceptible and sensitive to things which happen. Then we have the second subclass, which is the Hemimelidae. So now they have come, but they are not yet sure whether they are here or still there. So a little bit, is up and down. They are still between the two worlds. They are trying to get and settle and trying to establish their boundaries. So, but they are in between the separation. Things are still going on. Am I in this world? Am I not? So there's a lot of numbness and formication. And if you want to talk about chakras, then the subclass 1, Magnolidae, is the root chakra. And the second subclass is the second chakra, which is the sexual organ, second chakra. This is to know that we are now weaving in all of it together. Not only earlier we used to just do remedies, right? The biggest, nicest example of how we used to practice earlier, I like to quote Rajan always on this. It's like that we are sitting with a gun and we are just shooting, and if we hit a bird, we are happy we got a result. But there was no real clarity in group thinking. We knew, then we of course decided, yes, we know the keynotes, whether this remedy is fitting in, not that we didn't do any work. And we got results, so we carried on like that. But then came all these organized things, of having charts. First of in the mineral, Jan Schulten brought in so many years ago. And has helped us all to explore it all and do remedies which we would not have done, earlier, right? Like that, the plant kingdom chart has now come. Yakir made the big, very detailed chart. Mahesh Kanvi has made this chart which I showed you just now earlier, So you all can take that chart from here. We can give it to you. You can print it out and keep it like that. You want us to do it for you, we can do it also. So that is the chart. And the first one column I showed you was the Yakir's chart. Some of you who are from the old NJH CME have this chart where all the remedies of the families are mentioned. All the 6 groups, okay? So that is the second subclass. Then you have the third subclass, which is the Caryophyllae. They are now really struggling. They want to be separate. They don't want to be anymore there. They want to be here. So they are independent, want to be independent and more feminine. So the solar plexus chakra, center, the balance. So it is trying to do that, and the heart wins. And so this one is like more feminine subclass. It still does not separate feminine and masculine, okay, which we already discussed a little bit, that it is in subclass 5, which why we are going to study subclass 5. And then you have like this, the fourth Delineae group. So you have the class of the plant kingdom, which are dicotyledon. Subclass is the Delineae. Order is the, whichever is the order, and then you have the family, and you have the remedies like in Cucurbitaceae, you have Rhynia and Colocin. So dicotyledons are still feminine right till the end when they start becoming little masculine. Even in the 5th subclass, you will see that the beginning is a little feminine and become much more masculine. And the 6th is the fully masculine. So you have this Delineae is also very important subgroup, and it is all to do with nutrition line. So after we finish this whole group, maybe we should start with Delineae. So it is more about the love, the mother-child bond, the family bond, and remaining stable in the family by giving also, receiving also. So you're talking about a lot of nurture. But here in this group, it is feminine. Third also was feminine. Here the separation from mother and child starts. And here the most important chakra is the heart chakra, which is your fourth chakra, which is to love and accept and to nurture. Then you have the fifth subclass, which is our subclass today, where we talk about I and the other. So we want to now separate from I, which was like me and my family, and my mother, mainly me, mother. Now the other will come into play. We will see lot of detail about this. Okay, so this class, this session will be a lot about theory, because you have to understand Rosidea in its wholeness. Okay, I will take a couple of remedies and one family to introduce you, but mainly it is about the theory, and we have to understand about Rosidea itself. Now this is the group, the fifth subclass group, which is masculine, and the real split between feminine to masculine happens, where we have to follow the other or we follow our own path. Here the father comes into play. So far it was four columns, four subclasses, which was the mother. Now the father. So father represents work, the right and wrong, the rules, regulation. Then the rigidity comes in, and the structure comes in. And because we are suppressing a lot of the feminine feelings and all elements, so we feel little guilt, and we feel religion also comes in. And so since it is the fourth chakra, the throat, the thyroid, and the rigidity brings in the limbs and the neck. So these are the things more affected in the fifth subclass, which is what we are going to do today. And then you have the sixth, which is the Asteridae, and so it is all about I now, and the group, the world becomes me, not just the other. Okay, so we grow. So you have Natswamika, we have all the leaders in that group. So and what was my special place in this world? What did I bring to this world? What did my life mean and devote and develop what new thing? So we have to be special, because we have a place now in the world, and which is our defined place. So a lot of self-centeredness, and being special means shine and sparkle, and I am the leader type. Like in the sixth row, where you have platina and all in the mineral kingdom. So you have now correspondences also. If that remedy didn't work in the mineral kingdom, maybe it is a correspondent remedy in the plant kingdom. We will be studying that much more later. Okay, so this was a little short revision of 1 to 6. Are there any questions now? Dr. Fatima, can you help? Is there any questions so far? And everything is clear so far with just a revision? Yes?
No, ma'am, no questions in the chat as of now. You can write your questions
in the chat group, okay? Okay. So we come to the Rosidea subclass. The general theme, you will find I will repeat a lot, because it has to sink in and you have to make it your own, okay? So you will find that I will say the same thing again, and you say, make things, why am I saying it again and again? Because it has to become one with you. These are not very easy things. Some of us have not done this before. I myself started this study at this late age. So I'm sure all of you are much younger than me and will be much more able to absorb all these ideas. So here begins the split between masculine and feminine. So the feminine principles are suppression of the feminine element. What are the feminine element? The emotions, the intuition. And now instead of it, what emerges now is the mind and the reason. Okay, logical what they say. So this mind and reason is the means to attain self-awareness. So now because this split has happened and we are leaving our mother behind, then the possibility of recognizing the other now comes into play. Okay, So lot of different male partnerships or relationships or things like that come. So what can happen? Father, of course, become the important figure. So there's father-son bonding. Then you have partnership bonding, and you have past relationships which you want to bond over, or you want to be liked by the other. So all these now come into play. So if we look at it, the three things which are basic is id, ego and superego. So id are the instincts, the ego was the reality, which is now we are, superego will be the six. So here it is mainly about strengthening of the ego. The modern world that we live in today is in column 5 as we discussed earlier. They dominate the feminine aspect, the heart and the emotions, and come the mind and the reason. And this split now produces separateness, estrangement also, loneliness also, because we are seeking the other, but we may not get the other, okay? So you will see in cases which I will be doing later, that it is that I have not found my soulmate. So all others are then perceived as opposite and not part of me. You remember the first column, everything was me, me. All are into me. So I can't differentiate between me and the others. All belong to me. Now we have differentiation. So we have heart versus the mind. But here what happens, because the heart is suppressed, the heart becomes very stiff and hard. So the beginning of this column is ruling over the previous feminism. So we said no, delineity is the fourth subclass, is more feminine. So here at the end it becomes masculine, but when the beginning of the fifth subclass, it is still little bit feminine. So there's much heart pathology. So emotions are seen through the mind but suppressed. And now since the heart is not playing a big role, it also is not intuitive. Yeah. So intuition when it goes down and emotions when they go down, then you cling to rules, regulations, you become stiff. So a lot of the heart stiff ailments we'll see come in here. The masculine separates entirely from the feminine, from the pure existence we saw of column 1, where it was all one. And later on at the last stage, we also become one again. Yeah. So it is now we have moved from column 1 ka oneness to the separateness of column 5. To allow this, the soul sacrifices part of its emotional essence, allowing its boundary, setting now to the masculine aspect. Okay, so you have the masculine versus the feminine in this picture. Yeah. So now because it lacks that intuitive guidance of the heart, so it clings to the rules and to the father. So it completely now it is self-aware existence of column 5. So now the boundaries come. We saw in Staphy's area, pulsatil aconite, there were no boundaries, and therefore everything came in. Now boundaries are formed, big boundaries, and they shift to the masculine aspect. Many characteristics of modern life, such as emphasis on rationality and dependence on corporation, large institutions. If you see how much institutions have grown, how much companies have grown, such big companies in every part of the world. You see all this is happening in this fifth subclass, in this age. And therefore I wanted to do this particular group. Yeah. And rigidity, as well as you've given up emotion. So now you're coming to religion, superstition, and you have, which then all the qualities which are then rising. So we are in the masculine world now, the world of the father. It's entirely separate from the feminine. Okay? Masculine principle is to create separation. Feminine is to create togetherness and bonding. Okay, so it erects a boundary that helps to establish my self-determination, myself, my ego. So the focus, all these four columns, four subclasses, mother was the focus continuously. Now father become the important person. So issues are related to father, relationship, hierarchy. With mother, it was everybody was one. There was no better son, better daughter, no such thing. It's all family as one. Now you have who is more important, the one who does more work, who is more important, the one who follows more rules. So father will always prefer the child who is more obedient, more follows rules, more organized, and not one who is lazy wazy. Yeah. So discipline and respect come up. Now you're talking about building common goals, building resources. Now you're talking about work. When father comes in, it's all about work. So work, protection, external, the organization, the rules which he make now becomes all very demarcated. So there can be also problems due to the father figure, because fathers are generally happen to be strict. Sometimes you're overly strict father, and then you will have lot of scars which are left in life and which we'll have to deal with later. So the masculine and then the feminine, if you see, the masculine logical, confident, focused, very strong and capable. Even if he feels weak inside, he shows as if I am very strong. And clear, as if my rules are clear. No, you have to come at 9 o'clock, so 9 o'clock. 9:05, no, you have to be punished. Okay? Assertive and goal driven. The feminine are all opposites, intuitive. So sometimes you know that this person, though it looks as if it's wrong, but it is not. Because there's that intuitive power there, because of the nurturing and the bonding. So they are generous, they nurture, they are collaborative, live with everybody, they have creativeness, they have caring, they have receptiveness, and therefore they accept you for whatever you are. Here in the masculine, you have to make rules, okay? And they are also very grateful, yes? So here, all the modern people belong to this column 5. There is this history of excessive criticism and censure seen here. They are not forgiving. They don't say, okay, beta, you got a little late. Okay, you didn't get a bus. No, why? You should have gone at the proper time. Why did you reach school late? You have to take the previous bus. No, the bus didn't come. No, then you have to make sure that you leave on time. So this is the difference in the attitude which you will see. And emotions are very, very, very suppressed. You can't say, oh mom, this happened, I'm so sorry. No, it won't be accepted. You have to take a ruler and go ta-tak, ta-tak. Okay. So it is now the main relationship with the other, as I told you about pairs, partnership, and relationship, father and son, so on. And then whenever there is an argument, the father will say, look, what I say goes. So more masculine principles. Anytime you have a question, please do ask, okay? Somebody will see or write in the chat so we can see. Masculine means, now we said, na, hierarchy. Who is higher up? Who is more important? Who is less important? So the youngest child will always say, I'm least important. Nobody listens to me. Nobody listens to me. But they will say, okay, you will get your chance. So concern about one's identity, about what I will do in life, what is the studies I will do, what is the career I will choose. And the focus is on work, preoccupation with rules. You'll never forget now. Regulations, religion, and therefore superstition, and a hard heart. A heart gets hardened, ossified. So all your heart ailments will come into this group. So emotions are dominated now by my mind and reasoning. Masculine principle surges in full force and strength to complete this process of separation from the feminine principle. Emotions are dominated by the intellect. So in this subclass, mind is independent, self-aware, resistance to external influences. So there is a rigid desire for activity. So the words you have to remember are strictness, rules, regulations, rigidity. So the person ventures out from the family to face the world, and the world means what? It's not pampering, it is not food, it is not care, it is all about activity. Once you go out and go to join a company, nobody is looking at your other thing. They're just saying what work you created. Did you come on time? Did you leave on time? What was the work output that you gave? And so on. We'll have seen in so many movies, 9 o'clock at the time, they're rushing to reach at 9. You can't reach at 9:01 also. I have seen movies where the gate is closing and he slides in, from bottom. Yeah. So about your fulfillment of purpose, and you leave a personal mark on the world and your social position that you achieve by doing of all this. So goals are achieved not through just sitting back, right? Through industriousness and hard work. There's also an effort to improve oneself through work, for achievement and constant action to reach this goal that I have set for myself. If my father wants me to be a partner with him, I have to make sure that I rise up to that and be able to take the decision to contribute to the work. So this much work, then you need to relax a bit, so alcohol comes into play. But then finally, the work becomes too much and it may lead to exhaustion. And it may be taken as evidence of laziness. So rigid mind, when you're rigid, you have these rules, then you appear that you are very sure, You never say, okay, maybe you are right, maybe the bus was late, or maybe you really met a friend and just chatted for 5 minutes and therefore you're late. You don't have these. But it appears very sure, but maybe often wrong. A flexible mind is generally unsure, but often right. Yeah, if you give way, maybe that was right. And as I told you, the heart pathology is seen in the early stages of this column. Because that delineating column 4, subclass 4, delineating, that influence is still there in the beginning of the subclass 5. So dominant female, flow disturbance expressed physically as heart pathology. So what are the heart pathologies we'll see? So physical symptoms, due to surging of the masculine element in the physical and mental level, we see stiffness, hardening and rigidity. So we'll see what are affected: heart, joints, yeah. So heart pathology is seen in the beginning of the column. The muscular organ that momentarily stops the flow of blood with value rigid sinewy issue lacks a blood supply of its own. So the heart gets hardened, halting, calcification and ossification. So what are the cardiovascular diseases? CVD, cardiovascular diseases. You have the hypertensive heart disease, the rheumatic heart disease, the valvular heart disease, the aortic aneurysm or the arrhythmia. You may have thrombosis, you may have acute aortic aneurysm, the carditis, the congenital heart disease, heart failure, and myocardial infarction. These are the various heart diseases, and subclass 5 is very important, especially the earlier groups, important for heart remedies. So, due to suppression of emotions, the sexual energy is also suppressed. And when sexual energy is suppressed, extreme religiousness comes in. because you have to look for sexual guilt. We may be seen in this column. Chronic suppression of emotion may be repressed in a rigid and phobic way, and then it forms religious fanaticism, various obsessions, and fixity. They may develop into repetitiveness and ritualism. Okay, so there may be a lot of fanatism. Religious, when carrying too far, it becomes fanatics. So here you have seen how the progress is. From being nicely feminine and giving, you become masculine with rules and rigidity, and since you are not forgiving anymore, you become religious, and since you suppress your sexual urges also, you now become fanatics. Okay, and guilt comes in. So you have religious fanaticism, you have various obsessions, you have ritualism, you have repetitiveness, and a very important disease, the OCD, what we call, the obsessive compulsive disorder. Lot of the remedies here will help in these particular things. So early in the column, as we saw, the feminine carries over, so the feelings are still alive and kicking. Toward the end, they are completely replaced and rigidity sets in. Earlier in the column, you're still longing for relationships, but relationships, we all know, is not very easy to establish, and they are difficult. And so finally, rigidity also infiltrates into this relationship. So then you have isolation, you have hard-heartedness, you have dryness in relationships, and they become quite abusive and censorious. They would have liked to be in a relationship, but relationships are difficult for them. And due to this rigid masculine element, the joints and muscles, they become stiff and rigid. So we saw the heart complaint, we saw the joint complaint, and we saw the mind which becomes rigid. So you have rheumatoid arthritis, early symptoms, joint pain, swelling, stiffness, morning stiffness, especially the fatigue and the fever. Yeah? So it has been graphically drawn for you. Okay, so we have covered the general framework, the general aspects of the Rosidea whole group. Okay, this is not only belonging to one family, this is the whole group. This goes up and right from top to the last family. It'll be in different levels, different degrees, but it will be, the whole thing will be there represented in it. So if you want to take Rosidea and you want to see each one, this is like kind of. So Rosidea, R stands for rigidity and relationship, difficult relationship. Okay, rigidity and relationship is the R. So if we just remember this, we will be able to cover all that we have done so far, right? O, we saw OCD and operation of the masculine element. S is suppression of the feminine element and of the emotions. So suppression of heart and sex. And then you have the split between the masculine and the feminine, and you develop self-awareness, stupefaction, stiffness. So S has so much suppression of feminine, suppression of emotion, suppression of heart, suppression of sex leading to guilt, we saw, the split, the self-awareness, the superstition, and the stiffness we saw will come up more in the later. I, you have the Rosi, R-O-S-I. I is industriousness, individuality, and independence. Then D, dominant masculine element, development of career, the dryness, which is finally they become very, very dry. We saw the emotions dry up and so many things. A, you have to strive, work. So it's activity. I have to achieve something. I have to advance. I have to go up. I have to have a goal. I have to achieve that goal. So activity, achievement, advancement. And E, we saw they are more material, externally oriented. So it is now not wanting love and relationship and family and closeness and caring. They want external material things, which is why I keep saying this is the best subclass for this age, today's age, and emotional dryness. Any questions? So summary we want to do. We have the split and opposition. We have the heart versus the mind. Self-awareness through blocking and hardening. Dominance of the mind and suppression. The father domination. The rules and the regulations. The discipline. The karma. Business oriented. Activity, work, purpose. The willpower and the limbs and the joint problems. Correct? So this is all that we have so far in detailed explained and talked about for the last more than half an hour is about the Rosidea group, the fifth subclass. Yes. So now start with the first important family. I showed you that chart. You want to see it again? No. So Rosidea is the group and Roses is the first family, important family. So we'll start with this very important family and we'll understand the general characteristics of the family.
Ma'am, there's a question.
Yeah, there is a question. So it is not
Yeah.
only father domination. It can be any parent which is strong. Today, mothers are also like fathers. You may have a single mother also who would be really strict, and sometimes we have the father who's soft. So in that family, the father is taking the mother's role, and the mother is the strict person. So it is normally, historically, the father who is strict. So we're talking about the father. But today, of course, it may be the mother who's taken over that role. We have husbands who are, say, house husband, who are the henpecked husband, or who decide. You have so many males who say, I want to run the house, I want to cook, I want to care for them. So, yes, it can be the father or the mother. That is not the important thing. Sometimes father dead, you can be the elder brother also. You can find the so many patients come and tell us, my elder brother was like my father and he brought me up. Yes. What is the next question? Survival and independence. Yes. It talks about, it is more now not so much about just survival, but it is more about growing up. Survival is not that important issue. They are still at that young age, you know, so they want to grow. So they are not talking about death and other things yet. Yeah. Much more about independence. So even as a father-son team, you will often find that, yes, I want to, father wants to dominate, saying, I've run this company for so many years, I know what is best, but he has new ideas, father won't do it, you know. I found that often in families, and then I thought in one particular family where I really was very close to them for a number of years, father was really dominating, he wouldn't let him do anything. When the father died, I thought the son will now grow it, and but sometimes what happens is you become so used to the father and him guiding you that you then are not able to do on your own. We'll see that in one case also here. Not able to do so much on your own. And then, yeah. And then what happens is within a few years, in fact, just last year, I feel very bad about it, is that we lost the son also in that COVID. And today, it's a very difficult situation in that family. So when you have the chance, I've seen this even in other people. I had one patient, a woman, who was father-in-law was so rigid. Father-in-law, you had to give food at 6 o'clock. So every time she came to the clinic, 5, hurry up, doctor, I have to go at 6 o'clock. I can't be late by 5 minutes. So when I heard that her father-in-law died, I thought she will become, easy and all. No, but she felt there was no purpose in her life. She said, oh, I don't know what to do with my time. So it is how so many years you get used to something and you think the other thing will be good, but it may not happen. Okay. So now we are starting with Rosales. Okay. This is different from Rosidea group. This is Rosales family. I told you there are 21 remedies in that. And the most important, which we know, not important, all are important. Agrimony, amygdalia, crataegus, cyclamen, these are the ones which we kind of know. Okay?
Ma'am, there's one more question.
Say yes.
It's asked that is domination important in the sub?
Same thing, no? By any parent, domination important in the subclass, yes. It's important because now you're going over from the mother to the father. So you will have a dominant figure. You will have suppression. These are few things which will necessarily have to be there. But in homeopathy, you can never say it has to be there, otherwise I will not give this remedy. If you have other things fitting in, that thing may not be told to you or you may not have come to know about it, but it has been there. So you may say it's not there, okay, if you don't come to know. Okay, so you have faculties of reasoning and awareness, okay, in Rosales, just like in all Rosity. And desire to learn, because now ego strives to express full potential. So all of us have all this desire to learn, so we are all here today. So we want to learn and we want to also, our ego is boosted. But in the early, this is very early, na? It is right, Rosally. It's right in the, as you saw, it is right in the womb stage, right up. So it is still not completely ready. It may want to do this. So it is still got a mind which is not ready. So it has problems with concentration. It may have this learning disability, difficulty with self-expression, and difficulty with control over base emotions. So physical problems can arise due to overtaxing, through pursuit of spiritual development without proper readiness. Okay, so you have overtaxing on the body and you pursue spiritual development. Remember I said that you have suppression of sexual desire, which leads you to guilt because you are suppressing and you want it, so it guilt to you to saying God, 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 please forgive me kind of religion. So that you think is spiritual development, but you don't have that base, you don't have the maturity to do all of this. Yes, so it's right in the beginning. So in the fifth subclass ego, it is striving for individuation. Okay, so means my individual, yes, but I want to seek to engage with another so as to define myself through otherness. When you have the other and you can see the difference, then you can define yourself. You remember in the first subclass, everything was one, everyone was one. So you couldn't see. They also felt like you. They are part of you, and therefore you could never separate them from you. And now, if you see that the other is separate, oh, see, he's separate, I am so different. Okay? So now you can see yourself and define yourself by having a relation with the other. But in these baby stages of subclass 5, like Rosales and Myrittales, the contact with the other often fails to satisfy basic needs, and you lead to disappointment because the relationship with the other is never easy, right? And especially when you have not clarity and a little bit of weakness, then much more difficult to have it. So they want to be together, Roses, but yet separate. So you want your own separate identity also, but you want to be together. So the possibilities of connection with the world through connection with another being, that is correct. But it is early stage and this awareness still rudimentary. So not ready for a mature relationship. So this overwhelming feeling that you know well up inside you and flood the heart, they are difficult to contain, but they are difficult also to establish another relationship. You may become overpowering and the other person not ready for an overpowering relationship. And excessive concern for others, because you still have that feminine part. I told you from the fourth column to beginning of the fifth column, you still have feminism coming. So the concern for others makes it difficult to preserve one's sense of self. Okay, so you feel as if the center of your own being. You remember stories we said my heart is in that fish or something like that. As if center of one's own being is located in the other. So then the differentiation becomes difficult and also the relationship becomes difficult. So there is an entire intense desire to bond with somebody and to maintain this separate active ego. Okay? Is it clear so far? So this desperate need to connect with the other, to be understood, this may lead to loquacity. Obviously, you talk and talk and talk when you want to connect with the other. Okay? Just by keeping quiet, you're not going to build a relationship. So people who are quiet, too quiet. Sometimes if you're quiet and are interested and listen to others, yes, you can have a relationship. But sometimes I ask a patient, you're so quiet, how did you ever find a boy in your college? Oh, he found me. She says, he found me. Yeah. So this desperate need to connect with the other makes you able to talk, loquacious. Failure to connect, like ailments from grief. If you're so different from me, how will you even understand me? Because sometimes, the man says, I'm sorry, yesterday I was watching something, he said, I'm sorry, I know I should do something, but I don't know what. He's a man. She just wants support. So she just tells me, all I want to do is to be hugged and I'll be okay. But he doesn't do that. He just goes away because he doesn't know how to deal with it. So it makes me feel even worse. Okay, I have this one cancer patient recently who said exactly that to me. So Rosidea seem to learn how to express themselves in the world as distinct being in spite their unreadiness. At this point, one already has something individual to convey, a personal. You are developing, no? So you know what your strengths are also, no? So you have a personal melody, like the other song. Other song and singing, you have another song inside you which is playing, which you have to look at, and from that you'll find the remedy, not what you showed the world. So a personal remedy to share with the others, but it still lacks the capacity to fully be able to do that. Yes. So here the relationship is between father and child. Connection with father becomes increasingly important. And just to show the father that I am connected with you more, you will, bring the mother down or say, I won't listen to you. No, I won't do this. Go and change. No, I won't do it. Assertiveness, So then in this emerging mind and desire, you may have learning difficulties. Okay, difficulties to express. So because column 5 introduces elements of reason awareness, which is cognition, a desire to learn and evolve at the ego full potential, there be a lot of hurdles even on the way. Because the mind is not yet ready, it is still in this little nebule stage, and so issues arise with concentration, learning disability, self-expression, and control over base emotions. One more question, Fatima?
No.
Survival and independence. Okay. Okay. So, the roses, I must tell you, it's a very nice group. Huh? They have a long history with human beings. Lot of fruits are in this roses: apple, peach, plum, pear, apricot, or ornamental shrub. So they're very, very nice and interesting remedies. Yeah, you have the orange, it is squeezed, and the whole thing is about squeezing, just like ruta. So most are deciduous and dormant in winter, looking dead, but come to life in spring. Several species are low-lying herbs or strawberry-like potential. So the themes are prematurity, congenital defects, premature birth, lack of development and death. Then themes of premature beginning, because they are still in the womb stage. Premature birth, neonatal cardiac or respiratory failure, problems with weaning of the breast, and separation and death in general. Not death so much. So naivety and primal connection with the beyond is still anybody in the womb stage always will have, whether it is called subclass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But when you're right on top and in the womb, you can always have still you're in the womb, you still have a connection with the other world. Row 1 we have seen that was characterized by naivety and premortal existence. Emotionally in Rosales, this is expressed as a naive attitude towards life and their main relationships. The mind is still linked to other realms with clairvoyance and close relationships and communication between the worlds. Possible manifestations of this are a floating sensation, lack of presence in the here and now, and poor concentration. So this is the general information about Rosales as the group which is right on top in the 5th row, in the womb state. Here is the, okay. So this is end of the information. Now we'll do some cases and some remedies. Okay. We have half an hour still. So this is a case. 55 years old, carcinoma of the stomach, loss of appetite obviously, ascites and that hard feeling in the liver region, pain in the right hypochondria, and cheerfulness, pain during. You have lachesis, pygelia, arjuna, agrimony, and silent pent up grief. So you're not showing your expression or your grief outside. He wants to be connected with all. He is running a gold business, okay? But he's always ready to help his friends. His mother said that if his friends call him, he will leave the shop and he will go to help them. His wife says he believes all his employees. So we saw that naivety and that kind of leaving it to others but trying to be helpful to others, because you still have that feminine part coming into the things. Appetite is poor, bowels are constipated, thirsty, he is ambithyral. So his life space was, father was 84 and he died 6 months ago due to a heart ailment. So he was very much attached to the father and distressed a lot by the loss of his father. But he never showed his feelings outside. So even though his condition was grave, he was happy and smiling. Painlessness, smiling, cheerful with pain, those are the rubrics. So you had silent grief, cheerfulness, pain during, hardness in liver region, silent grief pent up, cares and worries about business, trifles but cheerful pain during. So you have Lachesis Phygelia terminalia Arjuna and Agrimony Euphoria. So which belongs to Rosales? Lachesis is cons, Phygelia is another. So here we had, this was the result. Natrum was 7/2, Lachesis 5/3, Aurum 5/3, Agrimony 5/2, Sulfur 5/2, Lyco 5/2. So he was given Agrimony and he is doing well. All his symptoms were better. So Agrimony Eupatoria is the remedy which belongs to the Rosales family. Okay. So it presents the disconnected, detached quality of the first row, emotional aloofness. Okay, in the womb state, you don't have so much emotion. So you are still in the first row as far as you are concerned about row, not the column. Repressed inner torment. Father died, but he kept it hidden. Mind brooding, hidden cares about, tormented by. Claustrophobia. So Ulrich Weldt describes Agrimony types as a nature-loving, pleasant woman with deep-seated pain brought on by a consuming yearning for a soulmate. We talked about so much the other, finding a soulmate, finding a connection. So they remain cheerful outwardly in spite of their pain and sorrows, often telling about their awful troubles in a cheerful manner. You know, some people cry and tell the same complaints again and again. And some people tell you, yeah, you know, or they tell you just in a matter of fact way, or they tell you in a quite pleasant way. And you don't realize that they are telling you, you know, where we have CA pancreas kind of. Sorry. Give me a minute. So the remedy was the aggravating factor. I took the water, went in wrong way and I coughed. So cheerful, outgoing, optimistic, encouraging others, and as if they are unaware of their own suffering or emotions. With repression come tendency to obesity, ulceration, and severe skin problems, and also eyesight decline. These are some of the important things here. Skin, ulceration, obesity, eyesight. So a case. Woman comes with severe skin rash on her feet. The toes are also distorted, wounded and purulent. Cannot even wear shoes in winter. Emotional issues with husband who's always working and never there for her. She cannot even communicate with him. He's never there. She wants another child. She has one. She wants another child, but he said no. So in spite of all this, she seems gay and happy, always smiling. She was given agrimony. Her foot healed completely. Ulcers and skin got better. And she could approach her issues with her husband. And she got pregnant and had her second child. So it was a very, very good result. Another case. Elderly woman, very polished, very graceful, tastefully dressed, with small white flowers on her skirt and a green skirt. Had depression, claustrophobia and fear of dementia, but doesn't show on her face. Her sight is weak, so you have everything, mind and the eyes. macular degeneration. She appears cheerful and open, but underneath she's sensitive and takes things to heart. The slightest wrong word, anger and disappointment. Frankly, she says, I never found my soulmate. And she's single and alone still. So cheerful, lovely, missing the other half, but she does nothing about it, but dream about it, okay? That I didn't find my soulmate. And follow up me, she was given again agrimony, felt better, although she kept complaining. The complaining didn't stop, but she was better. So that is one remedy. And the other second remedy from the same group, okay? From the same group, which we all know is Crataegus. But what do we use it for? Heart, right? And the specific, and we give it in mother tincture form. So I want to do that. 2 remedies. So Crataegus. It is well known to everybody here. All of us know it. But how much we use it except for that mother tincture, we don't know. So let's learn it. So it's well known for slow destructive condition of the heart. The miasm is syphilitic. If you look at Dr. Shankaran's in Rosidea group, I think Crataegus is given syphilis. Yeah. Can you see? Can you see? So in the syphilitic Rosidea group, you have Crataegus. So if you know the group, the family, and you know the miasm, you can come to the remedy even if you don't know the remedy, okay? But that miasm work is done by Dr. Shankar, and all the remedies are not in his schema book. So Rosidea and syphilitic miasm is Crataegus. So like that, you should know each of the groups. You should know the remedy, the group first, the family, and you should know the miasm. And then you should write down that in short, make small notes, and you'll be able to get it. The proposed feeling of Crataegus, oxycantha, is they need love of family so much, so that when any one of the family members leaves the family, it causes feeling of hurt. Crataegus men are more retracted and aloof than, of course, Crataegus women. But again, we can't say that in today's time. Somebody asked me, what if the woman is like that and the man is more, loving? We have all mixing up. I still remember the first time I went to Europe and I saw one couple, one person with a long plait and one short hair. So I obviously assumed the man was the short hair and the woman was the long hair. No, it was just the opposite. The man had the long hair and she had the short hair. So when I said, please excuse me, hello, Mr. He turns out and it was not a her, it was a he. So, Crataegus, initially emotions affect the heart. The heart-related emotion and symptom is taking everything to heart and taking on responsibility as dictated by this subclass. This subclass is the male, masculine, right? So, you have to take on responsibility. So, you have that, but you also have the heart. So, at first, there is a longing for touch and emotionally fulfilling relationship. Then, when love cannot be realized, sickness comes along with a wounded heart. Yes? So, right from hurt leading to the heart. They need love, but disappointment settles in, then sorrow comes, grief comes, and which causes a hardening of the heart, because then they say, I don't need anybody, I'm fine without anybody. Yeah? I had a patient this morning. Actually, she's been through 2-3 relationships, and now she's touched 60 and she's really looking good and is very happy. She says, I run, I have a lot of friends now and all. I don't need a man. It was all too much trouble. So Cheerful again, hardening of the heart with a heart of stone. Then in the consult, they speak of many problematic heart, love, and family complications. They can become depressed, irritable, and internally hurried. So the key word here is stiffening of the heart. Religious affectation can be present. Someone who dedicates his life to religious study, because they have gone into religion, then they thought that is the best solution, and they go into religious study, and they lose connection to the heart, the sweetness of life, and then they may get childhood diabetes. Increased pulse rate, signs of pulmonary congestion, edema, cyanosis, and aggravation from any exertion. So I told you, you do too much to your body, then you get exhausted and tired. So any exertion, yeah. High temperatures cause convulsions or hallucination. May also you need this remedy. She does not know where she is. There's also that alcohol thing, intoxication with shiny eyes, unrelated to the mental state, Clark says. Terminal cancer in particular or other endocrine cancers. So important concomitants is insomnia. People who cannot digest meat will do well with this remedy. So conditions where you found Kratik is of greatest value is myocardial degeneration with a steadily failing heart. In such a condition, there will be the usual accompanying symptom, but steadily. So it is rosacea, it is rosacea plus syphilitic miasm, not rosacea, rosacea, Sadness, despondency, depression, melancholy. Juvenile diabetes, paralysis, poliomyelitis, prostration of the mind with heart failure. All heart. So clutches at the heart as if in distress. Heart failure, compression. Pulse is failing, weak, irregular, unequal, with occasional strong beats. Blood vessel distended. Angina, severe pain. Face is also bluish and they look old. Cramps in the jaws are clenched in rigid spasm. So rigidity, which we saw was the whole rosacea group, comes in here. Lips are pale and bluish, froths at the mouth, frightful contortion of the muscles. My mouth is dry, either metallic or pussy or astringent, and the tongue is cold. Rapidly acting most deadly poison, producing convulsions, paralysis, collapse, cramps everywhere. Effects are sudden and spasmodic. Apoplexy, collapse. Lacks reaction, suddenly jerks from head to feet. Evacuation, cease suddenly and then become unconscious. Momentary loss of touch with reality. Sometimes gazes vacant, we are talking to a person and suddenly the face becomes vacant for a minute. Problems are destructive and self-destructive tendencies with torture, fear of hurting oneself, and fear of failure. So, lot of the Holocaust, at the Hitler Jew time. So they are very sensitive if either they were part of it or were near it or somewhere. Very sensitive to noise, starting from noises, startling, palpitation, wakes in fright from any sound. If they can't see the door or the street, they are afraid to sleep because they need an escape route, something like Argentum. Fear of horses, lot of noise, rains, lot of noise, thunder, lightning, or cars approaching and restarting. can get palpitations. So wakes in a fright from any sound. He's afraid to sleep, he cannot see the door, I already told you. Fears trains or cars. Memories of previous lives, especially of the Holocaust and the World War II. Or obsession with this time, the dreams and anxieties, as if, he is in a concentration camp, soldiers are coming to take him and his family. So, severe anxiety, excessive tendency to worry about his family members, and if they are away, there's a lot of panic and dread. Yes, sympathetic to others. So, this we have done Craticus. We will do this remedy next time. So this is the end of our session today. I'd like some admin. Can you please let me see the people here so that I can talk to them? Yeah, Preeti. So tell me, number one, any questions? Okay. Have you liked this kind of an approach of study through groups and columns and subclasses of the plant kingdoms? Yeah? Can you allow them to talk or put it on chat? Okay. So, yeah. So, people have said they like it. That's good. So, next time we will be sharing many more remedies of the Roselle's group. I wanted to give you today because you can start seeing in your practice two very good remedies. And also, I want you all to please tell me when do you want a replay. There are some people who are missing today because they were out of town, though they have registered already. But I had suggested Friday if you want. I just thought Saturday, Sunday is difficult for you all. So, is that Friday you want or you want Monday? Thank you all for such good comments. I am sure that by this group, we will all be solving many cases in our practice. Yeah. Okay, no, not for the whole week. I'm sorry, somebody has asked, can we give it to the whole week? That's why we're giving a time which even foreign people can allow. Yeah. Can you give them speaking? Admin, can you give them?
Can you help them?
Yeah. Okay. But something, of course, natrum, somebody has asked a question, natrum can come close to agrimony. Yes, because it is womb stage. Now, natrum is also in the womb. So, in that way, they will always be a connect, okay? But natrum is very different from agrimony. Natrum is complaining a lot. Agrimony is cheerful in pain. So, you have to differentiate. Natrum is a mineral. This is a plant. Okay. When do you think is 9 o'clock time? I kept 9 o'clock time or 9:30 so that even people from abroad time is suitable. And can we keep it on Monday? Then Friday will be too close to Thursday, as our sessions on Thursday. So Monday would be okay. Just say yes to all of you here. Then I'll ask the people who have not come. Just say yes. Okay. So Tabusam says yes. Anybody else? Okay, after 9 o'clock, Shahala says, okay. Okay. Weimer says, okay. Samath. So most people, Monday, okay. They like Monday, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. So that you're over with your clinic and maybe dinner also. Okay. So this seems a good enough time. So right now we'll keep it on Monday. I think the people who have gone out will also be coming back. So we'll have a good group then of decent group. We used to have this many people even for our physical CMEs. So that is nice that some of them have come back. The others will come back later. And I'm happy that so many people from out can join. That's why I really like this Zoom study, because we can do it. We don't restrict it to Bombay only. We can do it from all over the country and also outside. So I'm really, really happy with this Zoom meeting. And is there anything, any change you want or anything? Sometimes we may go a little bit over. So I'm thinking we should start at 3:15 maybe, so that if I want to show more cases. Today I showed 2 remedies. Um, Next time we must show much more remedies. We want to do remedies and cases, remedies and cases, remedies and cases till we finish this family. Then we have the next very interesting family called Fables. Very, very interesting. And I really am happy because it helps me to study more, to give to you all, and so learn more. And you also learn, I also learn. So that's why it's very nice. No, agrimony is the same as bark flower, and agrimony of materia medica is the same. But in agrimony of bark flower, we used it so little, and but this we use it in a broader sense, and we use it in potency form. 3 p.m. is good. Okay. So we can try to start at 3. 3 to 5 is good, and we can all go back to our practice or attend the other CME which is there. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Anything else you want to ask? We still have 3-4 minutes before we close. What is the schematic? You want the schematic thing? Okay, we will put it in the group. Okay, that chart, this chart, we will put it in the group so that everybody can do a color printout. And I have done lamination also, so that it remains for a long time. So yes, we'll put it in the group in WhatsApp. Okay, now this group will be a separate group, so you can ask questions also. Thank you so very much.
Yes, ma'am. Can I start? Because now they unmute, I can
Please
talk.
tell me, Vibha doctor.
Yes. Good evening, doctor.
Good evening.
And this is really personal webinar, which I think you have made for us, not
Yes.
in group. But I feel like I'm talking to my own people. But unfortunately, I cannot interact, and because that's disturbing all the way. But I request admin and you, end of the series, you give 10 minutes to, because all the time writing and this one-to-one ho jata hai, that is very good things. So we
Yeah.
can ask, and the 10 minutes give for this question answer verbally, not on writing chat
It's
box.
a small group, so we can manage.
Yeah, if we can manage, that makes a lot of difference instead of writing and then we don't remember whatever. It scroll upar ho gaya, niche ho gaya, we can't do that. It's
Yeah.
not that practical. Number 2, Rosidea, you have explained in depth, no doubt. But I think, ma'am, we required, even though who I have seen, I would like to repeat that on Monday evening and reconsolidate self. Then only we can achieve the best result,
Correct.
as you
Correct.
said.
I have to read it 4 times before I understand it. Okay.
Yes. So thank you so very much and bless you. And thank you, Edwin.
Thank you. Anything else? Dr. Fatima, thanks for all the pictures you gave us.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It was a wonderful learning experience.
Yeah. It's a very, very, very nice Rosidea. Even delineate is very close to me. I really like it. So I'm very excited about it. So thank you. Okay, thank you all. And thank you for waiting right till the end. Lovely group. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you. Okay then. If everybody is okay, I'll call off, and Monday you'll get it. Yes, admin, Monday 9 to 9 o'clock. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It went very smoothly. No hitches, no nothing. Thank you. Bye. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Hema. So many people that I know. Thanks, Rashmi. Thanks. Yeah. Everybody we know has come. Good. Sahala is here. Rashmi is here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you, Hema. The others have gone. Bye. Tabussam was also here. So the recording will also be put somewhere, hopefully, later. Bye. You can stop the recording, admin.